for themselves. There was another great quote that kind of summed everything up, which was when someone said that technology adds to his knowledge and thus to his experience. He said, "I don't play tennis with wood rackets." And I thought that was a great summary of kind of, the modern age, because, if you don't play with a wood racket, then you're going to be kind of ahead of people. And it's not like birding is a competition, but if you do see people around you that are having these great experiences and doing all these different things, then you might think, well, I'm missing out maybe if I don't as well. And so there is something to be said for kind of jumping on the bandwagon, as long as it's done in a way that makes you feel comfortable, so that you can partake in those same experiences. Another big thing, just beyond those kind of personal trends, was that all of this seemed to allow people to use their avocation for conservation. And of course, birders are very into conservation because they have to preserve the things they're interested in. And as I kind of alluded to earlier, there's a huge opportunity to make scientific contributions. And the data points that people donate are really important for giving information not just to people like me who are going to use it in a scientific way, but to teachers, to Boy and Girl Scouts who do projects, to people who are in schools and inner cities, people who don't have a chance to do this on their own. There are lots and lots of websites where people digiscope or take pictures and then they post them online. And you can go on, you can just see hundreds and hundreds of shots at different angles at different times of day of all these different species. And I use those for talks. I steal them all the time. But a lot of people also use them just when they're trying to identify a bird, or they're trying to find, a picture for their desktop, or any little thing like that. And even though that might seem kind of silly, if someone has that bird on their desktop, then it kind of is, piquing their curiosity. It's pulling them into that world. And so this stuff has a huge implication for upping interest in other people and getting diverse people to be interested and excited about this topic. Also, something I hadn't even thought of was that all this technology can allow you to be less invasive. So, playback notwithstanding, you can use some of this stuff to experience birds at a distance. You set up a scope, you use a pair of binoculars, you kind of stay out of the habitat. Or you can plan your trips more wisely, more sensitively. You can caravan with other people. You can find the easiest route to get somewhere so you don't burn too much gas. You can find alternate places to park so you're not right next to a breeding area. All sorts of things that you can look up online to make everything easier for you and for the wildlife that you're trying to look at. And that's kind of neat to think of how you can use this for your own good, but also for the birds. So just to kind of summarize all this diverse stuff that I've been talking about, I didn't find that any of the demographic stuff that I predicted would impact people's use, that it actually did. I found that it was completely unrelated to what gender you were, how old you are, how long you've been birding. However, I did find that people made decisions about technology based on how they had previously interacted with technology. So people who were prone to have bad experiences with computers seem to stay away from technology out in the field. Or personality, so people maybe who did a lot of technological stuff because they loved it, so they gamed a whole lot, or they listened to music a lot, or they have a job that involves it, they may have been a little more inclined towards it. But even beyond that, I found that differences in overall birding style tended to impact a lot of their overall decisions. And one person pointed out to me that there are totally different styles of birders. Some are kind of more slow, and they just kind of want to mosey on through the forest and see what happens to pop out of the trees. And others are a little more driven, and they have a list that they want to check off, or they know that a specific species in town, and they want to go find it and get it for that day. And it really depends on whether you're the slower type or the faster type, or whatever type you are on a given day. And that is going to impact whether or not this stuff fits into your life and your style at all. But I think regardless of that, if you're the type of person who wants to thumb through your field guide, and there are lots of people who are very passionate about their paper-based field guides, or if you prefer to look it up online at Cornell's site, or if you want to just mosey through and get a serendipitous experience or actively target a certain bird with a playback, I think we all have the same ultimate goal, and that is to love nature and then to take that love and turn it into something that helps other people also appreciate it and preserve it for future generations. And really, I think if there is any answer to pure versus impure, this really is it. If this is always going to be our ultimate common goal, then of course it's pure, no matter how you get there. Although again, playback might be a little bit of an issue, I still would stand on my statement that, if that is your common goal right there, then I think we can all give each other a little bit of leeway. And I will take this opportunity to say that this article that I have written comes out supposedly in the September-October issue next year. It's amazing to me that I got this accepted like 3 months ago, but it's not coming out till next year. So you'll have to wait on that. However, if you are interested in hearing me talk yet again, for some of you it would be the third time, I am doing another research project about birds. I'm looking at nature art through the ages, and I'm going to focus on bird art and how it's changed over time. So if you are intrigued by that, then you can mark your calendars for the Williamsburg Regional Library third Thursday program. And I've given you several months in advance, so hopefully you can clear your calendars here. And I would also like to take this opportunity to thank every one of you who filled out a survey and all of you who provided me